Introducing the talented and former middleweight champion of the world, Roi Джонса.
На данный момент Рой Джонсу 53 года, он все еще действующий боксер. Правда, такое долголетие в профессиональном спорте сыграло с Роем злую шутку. В последние 15 лет Джонс уже совсем не такой, каким был в расцвете карьеры. В свое время он признавался однозначно одним из сильнейших боксеров мира и без всяких сомнений самым зрелищным. Сегодня я хотел бы вспомнить и поговорить о 5 лучших боев за всю карьеру Роя Джонса. Так что садитесь поудобнее, с вас комментарий, лайк, а я начинаю. Билокси, США, 1998 год. Рой Джонс против Вирджила Хилла. 5-е место в рейтинге занимает бой именно с Вирджилом Хиллом. Несмотря на то, что Джонс к тому моменту уже владел титулом чемпиона WBC в полутяжелом весе, поединок был рейтинговым. Хиллу было 34 года. Из 45 боев он проиграл только в 2, причем в 1991 уступил великому Томасу Хирнсу.
Your chest, your body. Repeatedly in the 9-round fight against Griffin, he backed up into the ropes and allowed Griffin to wail away at him. He did it also against McCallum. He says it's a viable tactic which he uses to bide his time and wear his opponents down. Quickly. And Jones is standing still, allowing him to do as much. Jones stepping in and firing a single left hook. Hill coming back and struggling to try to land a jab in the right hand. Another quick left-hand shot by Jones, and he lands a right over the top. Another right hand, and Jones is starting to get it going in the last minute of round number 1. This guy, Virgil Hill, has been hit by one of the best right-hand punchers in the business. Landed 17 of 42 jabs in the first round. Almost all of those 17 connects to the body where he's been focusing his attack. You can see him coming out in round 2 with the same thing. For Jones. Catching a lot of shots, but of course, he's being shot by a genuine light heavyweight, middleweight. When you look at Virgil Hill, look at the size of those legs, the calves. He's been caught with some good shots, but believe me, there's not enough weight behind him yet. Jones landing with sharp lefts and rights. Now he's starting in round 2 to occasionally look to put together combinations. That he's going to take a lot of the juice out of that power of Roi Jones. And he's taking the chances, as we said early on. You guys got to get out there and take a chance. Can't worry about the scars on your face. Can't worry about getting cut. This is your chance of a lifetime. Those leaping left hooks landing for Roi Jones. The impression early in fights that Roi doesn't have it in him. He's not trying to get at his opponent. But I have the impression tonight that he's working hard and really looking for an opening to make something happen. That's something he doesn't like to do. And as Hill lands the right hand, Jones shakes his head as if to say, they can't do damage to me. But has a jab. He has a jab, Roi Jones does. And Hill still just trying to keep his glove on Jones. Jones lands the left, but it's one punch at a time. Now there's the combination. Jab and right hand. Hill lands the right hand over the top in retaliation. Good right hand by Jones. How do you have it scored through the first 3?
Jim, I got it 3-0, 30-27, Roi Jones Jr. Jim, I got to tell you, it's the boxer against the puncher. And unless Freddie Steinwinder is hitting Virgil Hill, somebody's making Virgil Hill's eyes swell up. I'm telling you, Roi Jones is not missing him with that right hand. He's whacking him with it. He constantly throws a right hand lead that lands on the left.
Рой Джонс провел поединок в своем стиле, опущенные руки, внезапные молниеносные атаки и финишировал соперника в 4-м раунде отменным ударом в корпус. Хилл скорчился от боли и не смог продолжить бой. Журнал «РИНГА» признал этот нокаут лучшим в 1998 году. Вашингтон, США, 1993 год. Рой Джонс против Бернарда Хопкинса. Четвертое место в нашем рейтинге занимает именно бой с Бернардом Хопкинсом. В этом бою определился новый чемпион мира по версии IBF в среднем весе. 24-летний Джонс подошел к поединку с рекордом 21-0, а 28-летний Хопкинс 22-1. Причем единственное поражение он потерпел на самом старте профессиональной карьеры. Оба тогда еще не были большими звездами, так что бились в андеркарте боя супертяжей Риддика Боуи и Джесси Фергюсона. Схватка между Джонсом и Хопкинсом была не самым захватывающим зрелищем. У Роя Джонса много куда более ярких перформансов в карьере, но важность того поединка не поддается сомнению. Во-первых, Джонс впервые стал чемпионом мира, а во-вторых, он впервые победил действительно сильного боксера.
By Jones over that slow left hand.
The sense that Bernard, the executioner Hopkins, trying to become Philadelphia's first middleweight champion ever, would you believe it, is gaining confidence, but maybe he loses some after that right hand by Jones. And one which is not likely to hold the attention of this audience for long. Overhand right by Jones lands in close quarters. And a left hand one. Spent 4 years in prison doing hard time for a chain snatching.
Good combination by Roi Jones. Right hand, left hook, and there's another left hook, right hand. Those flashy, fast hands, very, very difficult to deal with.
Jones with a right hand to the top and another right hand in. Right hand landed inside for Jones.
Again, an unorthodox punch, Jim. I mean, these are combinations I've never seen before. And Roi Jones, with that tremendous talent and quickness that he has, negates a lot of that stuff. And he makes these moves so naturally. He jumps in with punches, I mean, which is a no-no. If he ever gets nailed jumping in, they'll be counting 10. But he's so quick. I'm sure that Hopkins has never been in a ring with a guy like Roi Jones.
Jones lands a left hand in close as Hopkins chases him to the ropes. Certainly more powerful blows so far have been landed by Jones, and Gill, he threw a body punch and another couple of body punches.
But you notice, Jim, that Hopkins, again, with his good fundamental defense.
Well, Jones turned southpaw for a moment to give Hopkins a different look, but didn't throw a punch from that stance. Now he's back to his conventional stance and back to the right hand leads.
And Hopkins now has a swelling under his right arm.
Solid punches by Jones.
And Hopkins is committing the same sin that Jones commits. Every time he throws a jab, it's short. He tries to get out of the way at the same time he's throwing the punch.
And Jones is starting counter more effectively off the ropes, Gill.
Hopkins threw a right hand and Roi Jones, good left hook to the body. Jones pulled his head back to get away from the right hand. Muhammad Ali could get away with that. I've never seen anybody else been able to do it except Roi Jones. Jones is switching to southpaw. He's really trying to confuse Hopkins now.
And now he finally throws a punch from that stance, and it's an effective left hook.
He's starting to feel good, Jim, because he just let out a whoop, I guess it's a war whoop, you call it. Jones.
And he scores with a combination, backs away from the ropes effectively, lands the right hand over the top. That wide winging right hand, you wouldn't teach it, but he makes it work, Gil.
Again, we mentioned he's like lightning. And he's such an unorthodox guy. Hits him 2 or 3 in a row, we may see some funny things happen.
Left hand by Jones. Hopkins smiles. Usually that means the fighter is hurt a little. You ask Hopkins to let his right hand go. Smoger did nothing, and eventually Hopkins stepped away. Right cross lands solidly on Hopkins' chin. Jones appears intent on controlling round 12 with his jab and his foot moves. It's HBO's World Championship Boxing, the first half of a doubleheader. Olympic star of the 1988 Seoul Games, Roi Jones, denied a gold medal by an unjust decision, but voted the outstanding boxer in those games, trying to win his first world championship. The vacant IBF middleweight has done nothing to dilute the excitement potential for our big heavyweight championship fight upcoming. The crowd has retained all of its potential enthusiasm.
That's it, fellas. That's it, fellas. Champion of the world, Roi Jones Jr.
This way I can hear the
Лас-Вегас, США, 2003 год. Рой Джонс против Джона Руиса. Третье место в нашем рейтинге лучших боев Роя Джонса занимает бой против Джона Руиса. Джонс победил не самого известного боксера, да еще недосрочно. Вроде бы что-то такого. А дело в том, что бой прошел в супертяжелом весе. Руис тогда владел титулом чемпиона по версии WBA, и это была его третья защита пояса. До этого он трижды бился с Эвандером Холлифилдом, поражение, победа, ничья, и выиграл у непобежденного Кирка Джонсона.
When you can see Jones have that much time and when nothing is going
left hook. And Ruiz comes back with his own left hook and lands the first big right hand. And Jones lands a left in return. And they're fighting in the center of the ring. Big right hand by Jones. Jones has just fought a near perfect 2 minutes. Standing in the center of the ring, beating Ruiz to the punch. Nowhere near the ropes. And in no way to the ropes, he circles away. Ruiz wrestling.
Jones catching Ruiz on the way in with a kind of hook uppercut.
You see, with his quickness, he's got the bigger guy afraid to lead with anything.
This is the kind of round
moves behind the referee. When he says break, he steps behind the referee, which is extremely smart.
Ruiz told us in our meeting that he wants to go back to what he sees as his lighter heavyweight style. In the early days of his career, he was a mobile boxer puncher type, and he thinks he likes that. The first 3 rounds have been largely a sparring session for Roi Jones.
That Ruiz is sitting there watching and waiting for something good to happen.
And he gets caught with a right hand right on the button. And Jones hits him with the left
jabs, getting off the good lead left hooks, and you know, just beating John Ruiz to the punch. So far, I think it's a Roi Jones streaky fight based on clean punching and definitely ring general.
To let them go back to the middle of the ring where they outdo everything. They're quicker.
There's a solid right cross by Jones. Ruiz takes it very well.
Ruiz is making a mistake of keep getting caught with shots thinking this guy can't hit. All of a sudden, those little guys will knock your head off.
Hard to imagine there's any...
He gets hit.
Jones ducks the jab. And Ruiz begins pawing at the blood around his nose.
Now, Roi Jones is not even moving backwards much.
And now Jones looks to do it again. Just missed. John Ruiz pressuring him, not making him fight at a pace that might wear him down.
Being reluctant to use his size and strength because every time he comes in on Jones, he gets...
Right hand lead by Roi Jones, that hurt.
It's like something out of an oil painting.
But Ruiz has been in this...
Letterman, how do you have it through 9?
Okay, Jim, 8 rounds to 1, 89, 82. Roi Jones Jr.
Jones snaps Ruiz, gives Jones a chance to get back to the center of the ring. Drives Ruiz to get back again with him.
Несмотря на разницу в габаритах, Рой Джонс победил уверенно и стал первым за 106 лет средневесом, которому покорился титул в супертяжелом весе. Позже стали появляться слухи, что его следующим соперником может стать Виталий Кличко, но бой между ними так и не состоялся. Больше в супертяжах Рой Джонс не выступал. Рой закончил 2003 год на первом месте в рейтинге Pound for Pound, признанным лучшим вне зависимости от весовой категории журналом РИНГА. Ну а потом, как вы знаете, его карьера пошла на спад. Атлантик-Сити, США, 1997 год. Рой Джонс против Монтелла Гриффина. Второе почетное место в нашем рейтинге занимает бой именно с Гриффином. В марте 1997 года Джонс громил непобежденного Гриффина с рекордом 26-0, но проиграл в результате дисквалификации. А дело в том, что он продолжил атаковать Монтелла, когда тот опустился на колено. И если первый поединок он довел до 9-го раунда, то во втором решил не медлить и сразу снес оппонента в бою, который был для него очень принципиальным. Реванш был назначен немедленно, и Джонс одержал убедительную победу в первом раунде. Рой отправил соперника в нокдаун уже на 19-й секунде, а на отметке 2 минуты 30 секунд нокаутировал левым апперкотом. Гриффин пытался подняться, но у него ничего не получилось, он был слишком потрясен. Таким образом, Джонс по факту дважды растерзал очень опасного соперника. Достаточно сказать, что до этого Гриффин дважды побеждал Джеймса Тони.
Not trying to set anything up with the jab, just firing power punches.
Very important that Roi Jones keeps his right hand up as he throws those left hooks because he's wide open for a counter hook. Roi Jones is playing the feinting game and Griffith is benefiting by it. Oh, what a left hook. What a left hook.
Second knockdown of the round.
That was a leaping left hook, and Griffin may not survive it.
He's got trouble. Of them in round one by Jones, and he finishes off Griffin with a half hook, half uppercut, a la Oscar De La Hoya.
Лас-Вегас, США, 1994 год. Рой Джонс против Джеймса Тони. Ну а первое место в нашем рейтинге лучших боев Роя Джонса занимает бой именно Джеймсом Тони. Да и вы сами прекрасно понимаете. Это была 4-я защита Тони титула чемпиона по версии IBF во втором среднем весе. Джеймсу в 1994-м исполнилось 26 лет. Это совсем немного для бокса, но перед битвой с Джонсоном за его плечами было уже 46 боев, 44 победы и 2 ничьи. Такая высокая активность легендарного боксера с прекрасным прозвищем «Тушите свет» объяснялась тем, что он легко набирал вес, и чтобы не растолстеть, ему было необходимо постоянно держать себя в тонусе.
19 bouts that didn't quite make it past the midway point. And he'll perhaps get a test in that route tonight against Tony. Good lead, left hooks.
Тогда Джонс не был фаворитом, еще бы, ему противостоял такой крутой парень. Тем не менее, Рой доминировал на протяжении всего боя.
Final seconds here in the second round of work. So far, Jones has asserted himself pretty well. Good combination from Jones. Tony in some trouble. Jones now starting to come forward, landing some uppercuts inside, and he says, "Give me more. Is that all you got?" Jones says, "Yeah, I'll take the round with."
Джонс, как обычно, дурачился, а Тони пытался ответить на это той же дерзостью, но получилось скверно. Именно в этом бою произошел, возможно, самый знаменитый эпизод с участием Джонса. Он сделал движение вперед головой, растопырив руки. Тони его передразнил, поступив так же. Затем Рой повторил фокус, но на этот раз для отвлечения внимания, чтобы через мгновение отправить Джеймса в нокдаун ударом слева.
I don't think he's as hurt as the people might think he is here because he was fooling around.
You know, Jones actually stuck his hands apart as if to joke, and Tony did the same thing, and Jones was too quick. The exception of the fourth round, perhaps every other round has been Jones's round. And here, in round 7, he comes out in the first minute and goes right back to work with the lefts and rights. Tony getting hit by some big shots from Jones in the center of the ring. Combination punching there by Jones.
Corner man right now, I'd make sure in between rounds, I'd tell Richard Steele, hey, leave my man alone in the corner. He's trying to work just because the other guy's holding on. Give him a chance to work out of it, just like that.
Time ticking away here for the champion as we go into the final 45 seconds of round 7. And Jones still connecting on combinations with the quicker hands and the more accuracy. Tony just pounding Jones, or Jones rather pounding Tony. Combination punching. Champion on the ropes now. So far, Roi Jones Jr., good left hook, and Tony had to grab on there. He lost his balance for a moment. Well, so it appeared. The left hook has been the best shot there, and Tony hurt by that shot, winging wildly. Some headshots, and they're piling up for Jones, the challenger. He backs Tony up, and this is not a scene that you'll see very often. Here comes Jones. Has Tony in his corner. pounding him to the head.
He gets on both sides here.
This is incredible to see Tony get waxed like this on the ropes. Now, too, Joe. To the body and upstairs. I get the impression that Jones wants to close out the show in grand fashion. Instead of moving, you see him throwing rights like that and landing.
Threw a right hand. Tony came back with a counter.
Oh, a smash! Left hook to the face from Jones. And Tony unable to come back with anything. It's been a boxing lesson so far here tonight.
It's hard to bet against a guy, a winner like James Toney, especially with some of the brilliant things we've seen him do. But here we just saw the emergence of a true superstar in this game, and it's Roi Jones Jr.
Jones wants to finish in grand fashion here as he's starting to get more aggressive in the final 10 seconds.
На этом все, ребята, это были 5 лучших за все времена выступлений Роя Джонса. Если у вас есть свое мнение, пишите это в комментариях под видео. Скоро увидимся!